Imagine a car that began as a political dream, survived war, became a symbol of peace and counterculture, and outlived its rivals by decades. A car that people from all over the world fell in love with, sometimes against reason. That car is the Volkswagen Beetle, but behind its rounded curves lies an audacious blueprint, a plan for a people's car that would reshape the future of mobility. Join me as we travel from the drawing board in 1930s Germany through post-war revival to global legend. Here is the story of the Beetle. Origins of an idea. In the early 1930s, cars were still a luxury reserved for the rich, but industrial progress and politics were changing quickly. In Germany, the new regime under Adolf Hitler wanted to unite the nation with infrastructure and modernity. Highways, or Reichsautobahns, were being built, but who would drive the new roads? The answer was ordinary citizens. Hitler envisioned a Volkswagen, literally, a people's car. He set specifications. The car must carry 2 adults and 3 children, cost no more than a certain price, use fuel efficiently, and be simple to maintain. To realize this, he turned to Ferdinand Porsche and his engineering team. But Porsche's work rested on influences already in motion. Engineers like Béla Barani, Joseph Ganz, and Paul Jarret had been experimenting with compact, streamlined car designs since the 1920s and early 1930s. Their ideas, especially regarding air-cooled engines, compact layouts, and aerodynamics, laid conceptual groundwork. In 1934, Porsche received a development contract to build a prototype of that people's car. The design team included engineers like Erwin Commenda, Joseph Kales, Karl Rabe, and others. They experimented with prototypes labeled V1, V2, then V3, putting them through rough terrain and tests, refining the shape and mechanical layout. By 1938, the KDF wagon, KDF meaning Kraft durch Freude, or strength through joy, became public. The Volkswagen factory was begun in Fallersleben, later Wolfsburg, yet actual mass production was delayed by the outbreak of World War II. War, delay, and survival. With war raging, the factory was turned over to military production. Civilian car production was sidelined. Only a few dozen KDF cars had been made before 1939. After the war, Germany lay in rubble. The Volkswagen plant was in British, occupied territory. Many expected the plant to be dismantled. But a British officer, Ivan Hurst, saw potential. He coordinated repairs and restarted production, initially to supply vehicles for occupation forces. By late 1945, Volkswagen produced 785 cars, mainly for the British and postal services. Series production slowly began. The company branded itself simply Volkswagen, and only in 1968 did the name Beetle, from German Käfer, become official. The Beetle's design was unusual: rear-mounted air-cooled 4-cylinder engine, rear-wheel drive, a body on a nearly flat platform chassis, torsion bar suspension, and a shape optimized for minimal curves and ease of manufacture. The layout allowed a luggage trunk in front, as well as some behind seats. Even though the shape remained roughly constant, over its lifetime the Beetle was not static. Volkswagen made more than 78,000 incremental updates. Small tweaks to brakes, interiors, lights, trim, engines, and systems. But the core blueprint stayed intact. Post-war growth and the economic miracle. In the 1950s and 1960s, West Germany recovered rapidly. The Wirtschaftswunder, or economic miracle, saw rising incomes, increasing demand for consumer goods, including cars. The Beetle was perfectly placed. It was affordable, reliable, and easy to maintain. Exports to the US, UK, and beyond followed. By the early 1960s, the Beetle was becoming a cultural symbol. In the US, Volkswagen waged clever marketing. The "Think Small" campaign is legendary in advertising history. The quirky, modest car was embraced as an antidote to bloated American cars. In 1972, the Beetle overtook the Ford Model T as the world's best-selling car, with over 15 million units built. Yet as the 1970s progressed, competition intensified. Consumers wanted front-engine, water-cooled, more powerful vehicles. The Beetle's simple blueprint began to look old. Volkswagen began developing new model lines: the Golf, the Passat, the Polo. By the mid-1970s, the shift was underway. In Germany, Beetle production ended in 1978. But in other countries, especially Mexico and Brazil, production continued for decades. Global reach and cultural icon, One of the most remarkable aspects of the Beetle is its global penetration. Over 21.5 million were built from 1938 to 2003, making it the most produced car of a single platform in history. In Latin America, the Beetle, often called Vaco, in Mexico, Fusca, in Brazil, became deeply embedded in culture. It was used as taxis, everyday family cars, and became part of the social fabric. In the US, the Beetle became a symbolic vehicle of the 1960s counterculture. Hippies adopted it, painted it with murals, and turned it into a rolling canvas of expression. Its simplicity made it easy to modify. The car also starred in films, most famously as Herbie, the sentient beetle in Disney's The Love Bug. That added a dose of fantasy and charisma to its identity. In Germany and Europe, the Beetle was seen as a national symbol of recovery and pride. In Mexico, the final original Beetle rolled off the Puebla assembly line in 2003, car number 21529-464. Even today, enthusiasts restore and preserve Beetles. Some convert them to electric drive. In 2019, Volkswagen partnered with eClassics to offer an electric retrofit. 36.8 kWh battery, estimated 200 km range, top speed around 150 km. The blueprint that endured. What was the secret of the Beetle's blueprint? It was simplicity, modularity, and consistency. Simplicity, the layout was uncomplicated. Fewer moving parts. An air-cooled engine meant no radiator hoses, coolant, or elaborate cooling system. That reduced maintenance and failure points. Modularity and incremental evolution. Rather than wholesale redesigns, Volkswagen adopted hundreds of small updates. The car evolved but changed slowly, preserving reliability and familiarity. Mass production efficiency. The factory, tooling, supply chains, and parts standardization were optimized. Every Beetle could share many parts with others. Versatility and adaptability. Although the body shape stayed similar, the chassis could support variants, conversions, and aftermarket modifications. It survived in many climates and uses. Emotional resonance. People felt a bond. Owners customized them, named them, restored them. The Beetle became more than transport. It was identity. In many ways, the Beetle blueprint foreshadowed modern product design philosophies, incremental improvements, longevity, brand attachment, and creating an ecosystem around the product. Challenges, decline, and legacy. By the 1980s and 1990s, the automotive world had shifted. Front-wheel drive vehicles dominated. Efficiency, emissions, safety regulations, and consumer expectations demanded new technologies. The Beetle, built on a mid-20th century blueprint, struggled to compete. Volkswagen responded. In 1993, they began planning a revival. The Concept One prototype led to the new Beetle, unveiled in 1997. This model was based on the Golf's platform and featured modern amenities and front-engine layout. Yet it carried the emotional lineage of the original. Still, the old Beetle type went soldiered on in Mexico until 2003. On July 30, 2003, the final original Beetle rolled off the Puebla line. That was end of an era. Today, the Beetle's influence is everywhere. Classic car communities thrive. Some artisans convert them to electric. In museums, they stand among the giants of automotive history. And designers still cite the courage of building for the people first. A personal reflection. Imagine being a post-war German family. You walk past the Volkswagen plant in Wolfsburg, which is slowly at work again. The economy is rebuilding. For many, owning a car is once again a dream. But here is this simple, dependable Beetle, modest but hardy, promising mobility and hope. Or imagine you are a student in 1960s California. You see your buddy's Beetle painted with peace symbols. It is small, quirky, colorful, a mobile statement rather than a status symbol. Or picture a mechanic in 1980s Mexico, fixing countless Beetles, passing down knowledge generation to generation. The blueprint is familiar, the spare parts available, the machine forgiving. Through all these lenses, the Beetle remains deeply human, not a mere machine, but a companion, a canvas, a legacy. The Volkswagen Beetle's journey from blueprint to icon is a lesson in vision, perseverance, and connection. Its story is not only about engineering, but about belief that mobility could belong to many. Its blueprint endured because it was engineered not just for performance, but for people. If you like this journey through the Beetle's life, let me know in the comments which version of the Beetle you love most. Classic, new, or an electric revival. If you enjoyed this video, Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you don't miss any future stories of remarkable machines. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.